Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Georgian Prime Minister Garibashvili on Friday said the government had raised its growth forecast for 2023 for the earlier 5 to 6.5% and was adjusting the state budget with a 50 million lari increase based on the increased growth rate. Garibashvili noted the budget was increasing for the third year running and enabled financing very important programs over the recent years. We have already started working to the new 2024 budget. We discussed the first version of the budget with the Minister of Finance and his team as well as the format of Economic Council, and we will present it to the Parliament at the end of the month around September 29, Garibashvili added. United Airports of Georgia, operator of the Kutaisi International Airport, published a tender on the website of National State Procurement Agency, which plans to build a new airport apron. The total cost of the project is 11.4 million lari. According to the terms of the tender, rehabilitation should not restrict the movement of airplanes. During the rehabilitation process, the traffic of the transport should be ensured, so the work must be carried out in stages with a high level of safety. It's stated in the tender conditions. According to the document, the bidder must present the experience of performing similar types of work in the last 3 years, the contract value of which is not less than 60 million lari. Acceptance of proposals in the tender starts on October 4 and ends on October 10. We made a decision to introduce a visa-free regime for Chinese citizens. Prime Minister Garibashvili announced this before the start of the government meeting. According to the Prime Minister, one of the main interests is the arrival of more tourists and economic investment. Tourism is very important for us. Last year, we received $3.5 billion USD of direct income from tourism. This year, we expect more. We are working in other markets. We want to attract more tourists to the country. You know, I had a very successful visit to China, which today is the second economy in the world, the strongest economy. One of our main interests is to strengthen trade and economic relations with China, to attract more investments from China, as well as to attract more tourists, to bring them to Georgia. My visit served this purpose, and in general, strategic cooperation. The main component will be strengthening of trade economic relations, the Prime Minister said. The Minister of Economy of Georgia, Davitashvili, declares that many international companies from different countries, including China, are interested in the Anaklia port project. As the minister mentioned, the first stage of assessment may be completed in September or early October, and then the technical conditions will be clarified. Anaklia is first of all a very important economic project for Georgia. Anaklia is a commercial port which should ensure more cargo turnover in Georgia and the Middle Corridor. It's an important part of our logistic and transport strategy. We consider the development of Anaklia in this regard. This is a context to be considered when choosing a partner. You know that we are in the South Caucasus. The port of Anaklia is an important constituent link connecting the East Asia countries and Europe, in particular the West, the minister said. On September 13, the Monetary Policy Committee of National Bank of Georgia decided to decrease the monetary policy rate by 0.25%. The monetary policy rate stands at 10%. Inflation, as expected, is below the target rate, and in August, annual inflation was 0.9%, while core inflation stood at 2.5%. The role of external factors in the formation of inflation has eased significantly. In particular, since previous year, prices of raw food commodities on international markets have decreased, and international shipping costs have approached almost its pre-pandemic level. This, alongside with the appreciation of lari, have reduced imported good prices in Georgia. Tight monetary policy and low inflation expectations are also contributing significantly to the decline in inflation. As a result, domestic inflation has also been declining at a relatively slow speed, and in August it equaled 6.1%. It expected to decrease even further during the year. The MBG continuously monitors the developments in the economy and financial markets and will use all available tools to ensure price stability. The next meeting of Monetary Policy Committee will be held on October 25, 2023. In Q2 2023, the monthly average number of Georgian resident visitors aged 15 years or more equaled to 1.3 million. Those monthly average number of visits on the territory of Georgia corresponded to 1.6 million according to the National Statistics Office of Georgia. The monthly average number of visitors has increased by 14%. As for the number of visitors, it has increased by 25% in comparison to the corresponding data of the relevant period of the previous year. In Q2 2023, the monthly average number of tourist visits to Georgian residents amounted to 670,000, which is 18.3% higher than the indicator of relevant period of the previous year. In Q2 2023, the main purpose of majority visits was visiting friends and relatives. In the reporting period, majority of the visits accounts for Tbilisi and Emirati region. In Q2 2023, the monthly average expenditure during the visit equaled to 233 million lari. This indicator is 11.8% higher than the indicator of the relevant period of the previous year. As for the average expenditure per visit, it has been reduced by 10.5% and equal to 145.8 lari. The new 23-24 educational year in Tbilisi kindergartens will begin on September 18. Tbilisi City Hall reported to welcome the new year. 3 new kindergartens has been established in Samgori district, Gov't district, and in Kutaisi district. In preparation for the new educational year, more than 100 kindergartens received infrastructure upgrade to provide children with safer and better equipped environments. Notably, the Tbilisi Kindergarten Management Agency introduced a new registration system this year, aiming to accommodate the demand for public kindergartens as effectively as possible. Over 15,000 children have already been registered for the new educational year, with a total of 188 kindergartens serving the capital. The start of the new year will be marked by festive and enjoyable events across all kindergartens in Tbilisi on September 18.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.